I really love working at the Film Commission, and I think what similar to Sundance, I do a lot of behind the scenes work to help make films happen. I think if I were to work in film, I would be a producer. It's really where my skills are. But I love connecting all the dots, and we host a visiting filmmaker who's never been to Utah before, and they're a little unsure about how to make their project happen here, and we do some location scouting and talk about how you could make your film in Utah, and just seeing them experience Utah for the first time was really exciting and fun, and watching them creatively figure out, like, how are we going to do a certain scene with this in mind, and this is what we have to work with, and just watching that creative process is really, I love too. So that's the parts I love the most, I think. I grew up here in Utah, grew up in Salt Lake, went to Olympus High, and then when I left high school, I wanted to explore and see things outside of Utah, so I went to University of Oregon, and I studied journalism and French. Wasn't totally sure what I was going to do with either of those, but I loved my time there. And fun fact, I went to college with Ty Burrell, who stars Modern Family and is a Utah resident now. So when I left college, my job for 10 years, I was a freelance commercial photographer, and it was a fun challenge. So after I kind of did the photography side of things, I was looking around for, it's hard to do freelance work, I will say that. It was exhausting, and 10 years of hustling and trying to make a living was plenty for me, and I wanted to take a break and get a job where someone else just paid me to do something. And so I looked at Sundance. I'd always been a film fan, and I got a job at Sundance, just a part-time job for the festival that became a full-time job. And I was there for almost 14 years, and I really loved that side of things, and kind of transitioned into film, and really was more of coming from a film lover's perspective than a filmmaker's perspective. But I loved the opportunities I got to help filmmakers make their films and kind of see their dreams come true, and I just really felt like that was a strength, was kind of being behind the scenes and helping connect people and make things happen. And after Sundance, I went to work for Spy Hop, which is a local youth media organization, and just does some amazing things and really fosters kids through a lot of different medias, but film was a part of it. And then this job at the Film Commission came up, and it seemed like another side of film that I hadn't tackled before, kind of more on the film production side, and focused on Utah film production, which I didn't know that much about. Working at Sundance, I really knew a lot of independent filmmakers around the world, but didn't know a whole lot about what was happening in Utah. And so again, felt like kind of a fun challenge, and so I've been here almost 10 years. And I think a lot of film industry people were like, who are you? And why is this, why are you the right person for the job? And I think, I definitely had a few months of, is this job the right fit for me? Like, am I experienced enough, or do I have enough to bring to the table? And I mean, I think obviously, you assume that people are confident in what they do, and then you learn that everyone has the same nerve-wracking, terrified couple of days, and the first thing that they're doing, even at my age, and when you're like, okay, I'm gonna wing this and pretend like I know what I'm doing for a while, and then I did know what I was doing, so I caught up to myself. The Film Commission is an interesting part of the film's ecosystem. Almost every state and city and country has a film commission. And our role is to connect local resources with filmmakers, whether those filmmakers are local or from out of state or out of country. And so I think, knowing what you have in your own backyard and loving where you live certainly helps. I came into this job not knowing a lot about film production. I have never made a film. But I have an amazing team who come from the film world, and we all together make up a really great version of a group of people that can really sell Utah to filmmakers. I mean, I think knowledge of the film scene and my knowledge from Sundance of all of these different players that go, that make decisions about where to make movies was really helpful. I think I have grown the independent film world in Utah when it was really a lot of TV and more commercial films that were coming here, and I really am proud of that. I love that there's been a number of films that shot here and then premiered at Sundance. So I think I brought a lot of the skills that I've had through other jobs and just my own passions to it, and I think that's really ultimately what's most important. The film industry is really, it's been a tough year because people haven't been working. The other thing that we're working on is, that hopefully you've seen, is it's 100 years of film history in Utah, and that's been such a fun project for us. We launched a big exhibit at the Capitol, all about the 100 years, and I definitely learned a lot. I felt like I knew some, but I certainly didn't know the breadth of the film that has been here, especially in the 50s and 60s. I mean, we were killing it. We had so much production here, and a lot thanks to the Western genre and how popular that was at the time. And Utah was such a great place to put Westerns. But it's been really a fun project, and we're celebrating throughout the year all over the state in a lot of different ways, and so that's really something I'm focusing on for the next year as well. We are excited in December to be really looking forward and looking at the next 100 years of film and what that could look like in Utah, and so we've created a film festival called the Focus on the Future, and it's a festival with an open call to anyone 18 to 25 or who's enrolled in a program currently. And just a lot of opportunity. I'm hoping to build some things out around networking and kind of, exposing people who are participating in this to industry professionals, and so it really can be a jumping off point for those people. A big focus of the Film Commission obviously is continuing the pipeline and making sure that we have people that can step into the shoes of the industry professionals that have been in this game for a long time. And so one of the jobs that we've been doing is really looking at all of the higher ed institutions around the state and just making sure that those film programs, because I think now every higher ed has a film program. And so really working with them to make sure that they have what they need and that they're teaching things that are going to be applicable to the industry when they get out, and connecting them with industry resources, and then going to visit. I think this year we have visited, just in the last 3 months, we have visited every higher ed institution except for University of Utah and SLIC. Those are our last two that we have to do. So we've done all the other ones around the state. And it's been such a cool experience to just talk to young filmmakers and hear where they want to go. And so that's definitely something that we are still working on. My advice, if you're looking to get into the industry, would be to really try to figure out what side of things is most interesting to you. Because I think I hear from a lot of people that are like, I want a job in film, and they don't really know, and that's hard. It's hard to come to someone and say, I want to work in film, but without, there's so many jobs in film. And so kind of trying to figure out what you like and what you're interested in. And if you don't know, try to get some experience on set. I think a great opportunity is to be an extra. They always need people to be extras on film, and it's such a great way to see what happens on set and what it looks like. Even if you're, just a background person in a scene, you can see the camera operators, you can see the wranglers and, the producers and the directors, and really understand how the film comes together. So I think that's a great opportunity, and I think if your passion is making films, just make films. You've got to continue to make a film and, put your name out there and really just work on your craft, even if you end up doing a different job or working in film in a different area, but still work on your creative side as well.